Yeah, that's where the condensate comes from. The
Okay.
pump takes it from there and puts it into the boiler.
Okay.
So, Bruce, are we still shutting it off on a daily basis, or is it something that we can leave on? Cause you said check the water and then turn on the switch.
There's actually a couple of things that I would like to see done before you go ahead and leave it on overnight.
Okay.
And that boiler tech, is scheduled to come in and do a couple of things for us here before too long.
Okay.
I didn't think any of the other things he was doing was important enough to cause him to interrupt his normal fall schedule he has. But, the water level in the condensate tank, is controlled by a little float valve. Well, and that float valve was not there, the electrical one was not there, until Steve and I put it on. Unfortunately, we bought the wrong float valve, and it is set to shut off the pump if the water's too low, but it's not able to turn the water supply on. So in order to keep the level where it's supposed to be in the tank, it requires you to open the valve and let it go in.
So that needs to be replaced. That's something that you spoke with him and
Yeah.
we're waiting to get on schedule, okay?
Okay, so we're not trying to work this with a valve that doesn't belong, or with a float that doesn't belong in there. We're gonna get the,
We're gonna get the correct piece.
Okay.
We're gonna get the correct one in there.
But
not right
before
now.
that, we're gonna,
Yeah,
okay.
and really, all you gotta do is use the dipstick, check the water and see how much is in there. If it's too low, turn the valve on, and the next time it runs, it will automatically fill it. Unfortunately, it'll overfill it if you're not paying attention to it. I'm not sure what I've got on here. There's one more test that needs to be done, on a weekly basis. On the front of the boiler, there's a low water valve, and that is the low water safety. If the water gets below a certain point, it won't let the fires come on, and that's the safety right there.
That got a sight glass?
No.
No?
That's just a valve that's on the front of the
Oh,
boiler.
okay.
Another picture here, it'll show you. You can see here that it's got two switches on it,
Mm-hmm.
and when you've got fires burning, it's the time to test it. You push the test button, and it should shut the fires off. And then you push the reset button, and it'll come back on. If that doesn't shut the fires off when you hit the test button, then you've got a problem. Don't use the boiler,
Okay.
because you don't have any safety.
And what is that called right there?
This it's a low water cutoff. In fact, it's written right on the bottom.
Safeguard something?
Yeah,
Further?
low water cutoff.
Okay, safeguard.
And it's a switch.
Safeguard shut off.
It's very reliable. They put good stuff in them, and I've never seen one on this boiler not work right. But you still need to test it on a continual basis, because it's got electronics in there, and electronics are gonna die sooner or later. So when you do it, the water flush down, also test this. So it's all you do. Everything you do is for test and monitor is done at the same time.
And that just shuts off the fire.
Yeah, if the water's too low in the boiler, it shuts it off, and of course, when you push the test button, you're simulating that the water is too low.
When the water's too low. Or inefficient.
There's a bunch of little things that you never have to do anything with, but I just wanted you to be aware of what they are. You can see that's on the side of the boiler. There's the gauge, the round gauge, and then there's two of those. One of them has a little red reset button in it. If it needs to be reset, shut the boiler down and call the boiler tech, because that's a critical control item on the boiler.
So pretty much don't even mess with it.
Don't mess with it. Just, if it shuts down, the little red button will pop out. I mean, if it shuts down because there's a problem, don't reset it. Turn the boiler off. If
Red
you-
button up, shut it down, call the man,
There
okay.
you go.
Pressure control.
You can see, main, that tells you what the intended operating pressure is. And the differential is the amount of fluctuation the boiler can do. So these things are the ones that actually control the boiler pressure.
Bruce, is that on the side, when you're looking at it, it's on the side, the two little red buttons, so you have to remove a cover to push those reset buttons? Is that the spot?
I think I've got a better picture here to
Okay.
show you.
I'm just trying to get location.
Red button up equals problems, correct?
Yeah. Sorry, I don't have this better organized, but. Come on. Okay, that's the one we're just looking at.
Call the plumber, not Jesus.
No, we call Jesus first, then the plumber.
I had to get a reaction out of you somehow. You're sitting over there like you're still sleeping. Call Jesus first. Okay, and then the plumber.
Actually, I don't want a plumber touching that thing.
Oh, yeah, no, not a plumber, boiler maker. And is that what they call you guys, boiler makers, or?
Well, I ain't, that's for sure. But Boilermakers is close enough. Most of them are about that drunk.
Right.
Well, I thought, well, here we go. So the pressure that you can read is on that gauge. Can you see that little red button right there?
Mm-hmm.
If that pops out,
That's him?
it has tripped.
Okay.
Otherwise, this one doesn't have anything to tell you anything. It just does its thing and figures that you're gonna figure out you ain't got steam. So
That's the regulator over there, and that's the button we need to be looking for. Okay.
Actually, these two work together to regulate the system. This valve or that gauge is, the way that you can see it right now, is just about where it ought to be. It goes between 3 and 5 PSI. And it'll come down to right about 3 and the boiler will light fires and it'll bring it back up to 5
Okay.
and it shuts off at 5. It varies a little
fluctuates.
bit, yeah. Sometimes it'll be 4.5 and sometimes it'll be 5.5, but right in there.
Okay. And that's a pressure gauge, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
There's actually a better picture of the reset switch.
Between 3.
That's a different reset switch than the first one you showed where there was a test button on the left and a reset button on the right.
Yeah,
This is different.
different places on the board.
So what does this reset do?
This is the one I was just talking about. This is if it gets too high a pressure, it'll trip it.
What this one does is if it pops out, we call the man. We don't touch it, we shut it down.
Okay, there's a process to shutting it down that we'll go through.
Get the switch.
Yeah, turn the switch.
Oh,
on.
that's it, that's all. Okay.
It's not a big process.
Grasp the switch firmly between your fingers.
A 3-page procedure on how to do that.
So down on the front of the boiler, down next to your toes,
The burner
is the
control.
burner control.
Okay.
Well, hello, Jody Moore.
Burner control.
There's 4 or 4 little lights on the front of that.
Yellow, red, something, and green.
When it's on, when the fires are lit, or it's trying to light fires, all of those will be lit up. If, and the green one could be flashing under certain circumstances and not be a problem. But if the red one's flashing, turn the switch off.
Turn the switch on the burner control off?
Turn the switch on the boiler off.
Okay, shut it down again.
You only got one switch to turn off. And that's that one on the front of the boiler. It looks like a light switch.
Right.
Is that something we need to call boiler tech for as well?
Yeah, if that one's sitting there flashing red light, you've got problems with the burner, and that'll burn the place down.
Okay, we don't need that. Burner control, flashing red light.
Honeywell makes a good burner control. So if there is a problem that would burn the place down, Honeywell will get it shut down so it won't have gas. But it's sitting there flashing, so you don't want to tempt it at that point.
So what happens if this starts flashing a red light? Nobody's here, I mean,
If nobody's around, if it's flashing red light, it's shut the gas off. It's not gonna run the boiler, or it's not gonna try to run the boiler. It may be calling for heat, but that burner control won't let it. And that's the reason for the burner control, is the safety of the item. Well, it's also so the light's right.
so, I mean, it's built into the system to shut down.
Yeah.
But obviously, if we look at it and see it,
If you see it, you wonder why it's cold in the building, you go down and look at that little light, red light flashing, you know why, it's got problems with gas.
okay.
Flashing red light. Shut off.
Yeah.
Shut down. Shut down. Boiler. Okay.
I'm not sure what this will show here. Come on.
So Bruce, I told you, I just got a new phone. So the video, it's been working, but the very beginning when you talked about the flushing the system and the float valve, those, did you do 5 seconds in a shot? I missed that. I don't know if it's worth if you could do just a real quick recap
Probably
on,
just when we go down to the boiler room,
you'll go through that?
you get it there.
Okay, well, I'll try to video that then as well. And another question, if we have to shut down the boiler, what is our, what are your thoughts on utilizing, the furnaces that we have here, the forced air furnaces, to try to heat the building if we can't use the boiler?
I don't think you're gonna get enough circulation off those to the rest of the building to be of any benefit. They'll work just fine in the restrooms, for instance, and the offices. But you're not gonna get much heat down to the gym or the sanctuary or.
Yeah, my concern would be is if if we have to shut it down and it's gonna take, days or, a long time in the winter, and we're like, hey, the boiler's, not operable for a while. Just didn't know your thoughts on what.
I don't think, basically you're relying on the building insulation and its own residual heat to keep you from freezing something. The only place that I would be concerned about freezing is out in the far end of the restrooms, out in the far end of the gym.
Yeah.
They're the farthest away from all the heat mains.
They're kind of against the wall,
They're
they're outside wall.
against the outside wall.
Yeah.
They're probably one of the highest probability of having any kind of freezing. So that would be what I would monitor. And you can set a portable heater in each one of those to just keep it above 40. You don't want to spend too much on heat.
Mhm.
I don't think you'll have much problem. This building holds enough heat when the sun comes out and warms up that stone.
Mhm.
It keeps the building in a safe temperature range. If you got a long period of cold weather, I mean, it's getting down below zero every night, and it's not getting up above about 20 or 30, then you could possibly get to a spot where you're having freezing issues.
Mhm.
But this old stone building holds a lot of heat for a long time. I have never seen it below about 50 in the sanctuary.
Yeah.
And the sanctuary is another spot that, it's got 2 outside walls and big windows.
Mhm.
So the building heat is holding that above 50. I think that was the benefit of the old design that they had 100 years ago.
Mhm.
Stone buildings, stone based and brick buildings hold a lot of heat for a long time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that happens in the summertime too, when you don't want it to.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and we have access to, getting some, I don't think we have any heaters that are actually here, do we? We don't have any,
Portable heaters.
what's that? Yeah, portable heaters. I wasn't aware if we had any.
Yeah, I know of one, we don't recall having it. We haven't had to use them or
Yeah.
nothing, so.
So we have 1 or 2 here, if we had to get them, or we'd have to go buy or rent something.
We could probably pick a couple up to have as a backup if we needed to. And,
You said space heaters?
yeah,
Okay.
Ones that are safe. Good.
If this guy that I've got hooked up with right now for water maintenance is good. If you call him and tell him that you've got the system down and your building's getting cold at night, he'll be up here in pretty short order to get you going. He's, that's why I had Stephen Parisi, because he'd jump on it, This guy's the same way. Steve actually recommended this guy sort of indirectly.
Okay, does Keith have that point of contact?
Yeah.
I think I do from a bill, but we'll have to make a
If we
point
can get that on
again.
the glass too on the
Yeah.
maintenance desk.
Yeah.
This way, if we have to shut down and I'm not here,
Yeah.
or you're here, or whatever.
Yes.
If we have that number readily available.
That's the number we call for something
Right, yeah, 'cause boil it down, we wanna try to get in line as quick as possible
with, his name's Steve as well?
with Keith's
With Keith?
authorization for us to call.
Yeah, let me go look at the bill and make sure we get the right information.
The
So
guy
it's handy.
that I've connected with, there's one guy who's primarily a control system guy, and he's the boss, I guess you might say. And he's got a guy that works with him who is the boiler and steam system maintenance. And the guy that does the steam system maintenance, his dad spent 20 years down at the state offices that do inspections.
Nice.
And he, like me, came from the marine world and that type of steam system before he went to the state. He's the senior guy, he's the advisor, and he doesn't do a lot of work because he's as old as I am. But his son is the guy that does the work. And he comes in and looks at it and says, just a minute, let me call Dad.
Yeah.
And so I think it was a good connection to make.
Perfect.
One, he'll keep you in line of the code and the code requirements. And the first thing he did was ask for the last inspection certificate, which had happened just a few months before. And I didn't have it because it's supposed to be on the wall in the boiler room. It is now. I don't know who put it in there, but it's on the wall in the boiler room. And we need to get a copy of that to put in the office with the boiler folder notebook that I have in there.
I'm not aware we have a bulk boiler folder. We do,
I don't know.
It's stuck in that book cabinet there.
okay, let's make sure we get the book of that, so we all know where that is.
So I think probably the best thing to do now is to go down and walk through startup and checks.